I read somewhere that apparently every single trait on a fluff has a future utility. But let me go over to the Futureverse. I think this is truly important, particularly the discussion where is the metaverse something that's already out right now, or is it coming? And do you want to be on the ground floor of that? Because goddamn, this might be it. So enter the Futureverse. It provides a set of tools at the infrastructure, protocol, content, and application layer that are built with user experience in mind and fully integrated to ensure interoperability. Over this infrastructure, a rich content layer creates powerful community network effects. The Futureverse is comprised of, and this is where the big thing right here, specifically with the fluffs and some of the other things, the root network. A decentralized blockchain network optimized for user experience and onboarding. Them highlighting onboarding is probably the most important thing out of all of this, besides the fact that they have their own network. A decentralized identity protocol and passport for users and assets to form the base data layer for interoperability and applications. A decentralized delegation protocol allowing applications to provide layered access to users. A decentralized communications, notifications, and storage protocol allowing users and applications to communicate with each other between applications. A decentralized artificial intelligence protocol enabling applications and avatars to leverage this technology in a community-governed and user-owned way. This one is something to kind of keep in the back of your mind. So for all of our avatars out there, we have this potentially fake view on it. It's our digital identity, but what if we can maybe add AI to it and bring our avatars to life in a metaverse? Payment networks and wallets designed to help onboard and connect physical goods, financial rails of the metaverse, and content assets. A rich set of user-owned digital assets designed with storytelling at their heart. Together, these are the core elements necessary for developing to build a decentralized community-owned application or for content creators to join the open metaverse. Much of what's necessary for success goes far beyond content. The infrastructure stack is absolutely critical. This foundational layer is not glamorous, but it's critical if we want to reach and onboard new users, particularly a mass audience with expectations set from current consumer apps and the depiction of technology in movies. If their first experience with Web3 is a mess, they won't stay. Which, I mean, a lot of you guys probably felt that, you know, your Web3 experience, a lot of it was good last year, and then it started to turn bad. And can you imagine the people that came in when things started to get messy? This is hugely important. So they're wanting to make sure that their first time experience with it is amazing. They'll be lured into the corporate metaverse mimics controlled by the same large corporations who created Web 2. So this is kind of also signifying, you know, they're recognizing Facebook with their Meta and all this other stuff. They're recognizing, but also just the general Web3 experience. The Futureverse brings together a team of 200 visionaries who have been developing the technology, protocols, and content over the last 5 years to rapidly improve the Web3 open metaverse experience. A lot of the things that you've seen so far have been only operational for a year. Imagine if you could look at them 5 years later, what they'd be into. The root network. At the heart of the network, infrastructure and protocols in the open metaverse is the root network. The root network is a core blockchain infrastructure. It's built by bringing together best-of-breed components from the Web3 community and runtimes with a deliberate focus on great user onboarding. Onboarding is the most important facet of the experience for new users coming into Web3, and is currently worse than Web 2 counterparts. For this reason, many commentators perceive the whole of Web3 as a terrible UX, and many users who have tried to join would agree. Of those who have thus far, many have had negative experiences due to non-existent safety features and leave quickly to never return. However, once users are onboarded, the experience can be superior to Web 2. Web 3 is a privacy-centric by design. Users can move between applications without signing up and move assets and data without permission, plus a host of other benefits. The root network is designed to be best in class, and it has 5 main elements. So it's got a Substrate core, EVM support for smart contracts, so again, rocking with Ethereum, custom runtimes, non-fungible asset runtimes, multi-token economy, which is where I kind of want to bring to, because this is where, and one of the reasons why I've been getting into fluffs is because there's going to be a token drop with it, and I can follow up with some information on that in a little bit. The root network has a unique multi-token economy that enables the optimization of both gas and initial user onboarding. Gas is a key pain point for users, and in many single token networks, the success of the network leads to high or volatile network fees, which again, we had like way up to like 23 earlier. It's crazy, dude. In the early days of running a network node on a single token network, the gas token is also used for block rewards. This puts price pressure on the network token as it's sold to recover yield for running staking infrastructure. It also impacts the security budget of the network. Another issue that has emerged from single token economies is that the block rewards are not liquid enough to incentivize large numbers of node operators. This limits the decentralization of the network. In the root network, the primary network token is mycelium. So if you're paying attention, you're writing mycelium down. It is designed as the network security and governance token used in the network's proof of stake consensus. It is isolated from the gas token by design. To solve for the base liquidity of block rewards, we have partnered with Ripple and the XRPL to provide base block rewards in the form of XRP. So, can you imagine if XRP kind of has this like intro into NFTs after, let's say they win the US SEC case and it comes out that they're doing all this stuff on this like root network and Fluf is partnered? Sheesh! You've heard of the XRP army before, right? XRP will also be used as a network gas token. This combination will allow the mycelium network token to grow in value and provide a high degree of liquidity for users for block producers. One of the main obstacles for new users entering decentralized applications and now content is understanding the concept of gas and going through the arduous process of acquiring it to pay for transactions. This is like downloading Netflix, but having to buy and set up an AWS cloud subscription first, an absurd user experience and unnecessary friction point. In the root network, we solve this problem with an in-chain gas fee exchange. Users can onboard and use the native token of the application, or developers can delegate and pay fees on behalf of users. So this will kind of be a way where we've seen with marketplaces incentivizing, right? It allows it a little bit more. So node validators can then receive these gas tokens as a reward for producing blocks. For example, users who have bridged for Ethereum can use ETH, or users who onboarded via ASM can use ASTO. An altered state machine is the other partner for the AI protocol within the Futureverse. Who have downloaded the Sylo wallet can use Sylo. By default, if no liquidity pool exists for your native token, you can use the network gas token XRP. So the token economy here, this is where I'm wanting to bring it down. So quick little use cases for it: land reward mechanics, game rewards, stake to earn content, charging up in-game items, breeding, new content purchases, stake to play, and then there's a data marketplace. So here we go. Here's the important stuff and why I'll kind of talk about specifically with my stuff. But for this mycelium token, there's a 12 billion supply. So 10% of it goes to the initial community rewards. Holders of the Fluf World content NFTs will receive an airdrop of the mycelium token in two parts. The first will be upfront, and the second will leverage the time-delayed reverse claim mechanism, pioneered by polymorphs in Universe XYZ. The earlier you claim, the lower your reward, and the remaining tokens will go to the pool, so the latest claimants receive the most rewards. Land mechanics. Holders of land in the Third Kingdom, the meta world Fluf World exists in, will receive 15% of the tokens using a unique gamified token distribution mechanism involving land, assets, and characters. So when we're talking about the SEC, they're wanting to give tokens to landowners, but they have to like be partaking within the ecosystem of like playing the game or whatever to get it. But the land is going to get like 15% of the token, which is nuts. So 10% to the development fund, etc., etc. There's a thread that was done a while ago when somebody tried to break down what the mycelium token valuations are, and this is back in June. So realize, you know, this was kind of like something people were talking about back then, but we're getting closer and closer. So using the 50 mil valuation for Futureverse gives a per mycelium value of 0.04 cents USD. So for Fluf, if it gets 60,000 tokens at 4 cents, it's going to be worth $2,400, which is worth 2.4 ETH. Fluffs right now are at about 2.18 ETH. So one could argue that it's free right now when the token drop happens. For Party Bear, which I think are sitting around 0.3, 0.4, you're getting 18.5. And if that's worth it with this right evaluation, you're getting 0.74. So again, not only are you breaking even on the Party Bear, you're actually making a little bit. And same with the thingies, which are about 0.27, 0.28. They're supposed to get 18.5, apparently. Again, this is speculation, but the math does kind of work out. You got 0.74 ETH. Now, coming specifically from the founder himself, he says, I'm going to host an AMA on the token soon, talk through our strategy for distribution. I think the main thing to understand is that fluffs are a key to unlocking the value in the platform. Many users won't know about fluffs necessary, but the few who hold fluffs will be glad they do. We have some good strategies for bringing people in from Web 2, one to be announced this month. We ain't aiming at the NFT market, sir. Less than 5% of the world is in crypto. Less than 5% of those are in the NFT market. 95% of the crypto world and 95% of the rest of the world are our targets. Yes, we will cover the mechanisms for how tokens relate to assets. You can go over one of the other components within the ecosystem, the ASM brains. So there's two different brains. There's the Gen 1s and then there's Gen 2s. And there's also a collection called The Next Legends and AFA All-Stars, which are done by this Altered State Machine company. So you have Fluf World and then Altered State Machine, and together they're creating the W. Altered State Machine and Fluf World create Futureverse, but ASM is still building out their own kind of protocol with all this stuff, and you can get a brain and then put it in a fighter and it's going to fight for you, or you can put it in a soccer player and it can play soccer for you, or you can put it in a Fluff World and during their metaverse or whatever, I think your Fluff World's going to be able to come to life. And I think they're wanting to integrate with like everybody. So imagine the Gutter Cat Gang has its avatars with AI. You have Moonbirds that are able to walk around in the metaverse with AI, and you can train them. And these Gen 1s over time will get smarter and smarter, and then you're actually able to breed them so you can keep, potentially an entire year's worth of work to allow somebody else to skip that part and then pay you the bread to get it. Now, there's also Gen 2 brains, which are worth bringing up, because they are a lot cheaper than 0.72. And those Gen 2s, it's kind of the same thing as those Gen 2s, right? The Gen 1s, but there's no breeding involved. So if you spend an entire year building up a brain, it becomes an amazing boxer. You're like, okay, this is awesome. You're going to have to sell your NFT to reap the rewards. Keep playing their game. Or if you had done it on a Gen 1, then you could have bred it. They're already making All Apes rigged and animated 3D for their world. Sheesh! Which, so there's another thing. If you get all the BAYC holders that still have capital left, and they're like, oh my god, I need to get a brain because I need it, and there's only 10,000 Gen 1s, potentially this could fly. Now, let's talk super quick here about the AFA All-Stars. This is going to be a soccer game, essentially. You can get these characters. So I was watching this guy called Into the Futureverse. But he's been talking about how there's been like a rumor that FIFA's involved with these guys. And there was a post from the captain. No, not the captain guy. One of the other dudes. There was like, all the months of hard work's really paid off. And it was like this very like monumental post. And we got this Into the Metaverse guy saying, there's talks about it. So imagine that it comes out that the FIFA World Cup 2022 or 2023, I don't even know when the hell it is done by an NFT project that you have AI brains that can play soccer. Sheesh! Now, people might find it super strange, or they could be like, We haven't seen that before. This is cool. And this is the future. Which, coincidentally, they're called Into the Futureverse. Some kind of similar. Yo, that's it for tonight. We're going to be back tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern. Sounds good? Love you guys. Have a great night. Talk soon.
Now I'm just what you want. I look like you want me to. And I can't tell what's true. 'Cause my world's made up of fake news. Yeah.